So if I slept really well, it's leg day, baby. It is. It's going to be heavy muscle day.
Welcome to Happy Millionaire, a show about how to make profit with a positive impact and stay happy along the way.
All right, so today on this episode, we're going to be talking about getting into good shape. Now, of everyone I know, of all my friends, Dr. Rupy is probably the number one guy who is both super busy and consistently and always in shape. Now, this is a very selfish episode for me, but in 2023, I want to go from being in a good shape to great shape. So I'm going to tap into Rupy's decades of knowledge in building routines, nutrition, effective weight training, and he gives me his recent results on his biometric tracking, and finally, his killer skincare routine.
First of all, I feel very flattered.
Yeah?
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
It's the first time I've probably given you a little compliment. You're still annoying, but
proper
it's all right.
compliment. Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wish I could point to some sick bit of technology, whether it's like I get my investigations done every 3 months or a continuous glucose monitor on my Aura ring or like whatever. But unfortunately, it's really boring, right? It's pure consistency. So over the last 10 plus years, I have been madly consistent. And you've got to think about the inception of that, right? So when I got ill, which is kind of like why I started the Doctor's Kitchen and how I fell into nutrition and lifestyle. When I got ill, I had the stick as my sort of motivating factor. So the two broad motivating factors. You've got your carrot or your stick. Most people look at diet and lifestyle as a means to get their abs. You're Mr. Ab Man. Everyone's looking like like how they look on the beach or how they're going to be attractive to other members, members of the opposite or same sex, whatever.
For other dudes normally, mate. Most guys
actually, it's
not
mostly
women.
About dudes.
Women
yeah.
don't care about the abs. It's for the dudes.
To be honest, like even women, like my partner always tells me, like she dresses up to impress other women as well. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's a bit strange, but like everyone does it. Guys do it. Anyway,
strange world.
So. That's like your carrot, if you like. I would broadly categorize it into the carrot, like what you can get from working out or looking your best. And in my case, it was a stick. It was like if I don't sort out my lifestyle or improve my health and well-being, I'm lumbered with a condition here. So that was sort of like the start of my habit change. But therein lies a problem. You can only rely on willpower for so long. You need to have foundational level habits to maintain that consistency. So you have to identify with what that is. And my core identity, the thing that maintains my habit of going to the gym or eating well and all that kind of stuff, I wake up early. I wake up super early. And I get...
We wake up at this time? What's the current timing? What's
5.
the current time you waking up?
Yeah,
5.
5.
Oh man, 5 a.m. club, huh?
Yeah, I'm 5 a.m. club. I was really inspired by that, but I think I've always been a bit of an early riser. Your sort of internal body clock changes at different periods of your life, and teenagers tend to go to sleep later and wake up later. But in my 20s and certainly 30s, that's really shifted, and I'm much more of a sort of a morning lark.
Okay, so you wake up early, all right? So that's one.
But even if, right, your chronotype suggests that you're more of a... Because a lot of people, particularly those working in tech, I found, they get their best work later on. They get their best work at 11, 12, sometimes 1 in the morning. You can't apply this to everyone because if you get up at 5, you're halving your sleep, and that's definitely not good in the long run. So rather than just waking up early, it's like... getting that time period first thing after waking up that you dedicate to your health and wellness routine. And if that means waking up earlier than you normally would, regardless if that's like 9 or 10 or, if you're lucky to wake up at 9 or 10 or 6 and waking up at 5 in my case, then you got to fit it in there because that's your consistency period. You got to double down on that.
This is when you go to the gym then. So you do your workout in the morning.
So I have like a bit of an American Psycho routine that we've discussed before, which is where I get up, I drink my water, I meditate, I stretch, and then I get behind my computer, I have my coffee, and then I go to the gym. That's basically it.
So you go gym a bit after, like what, like 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, before lunch?
No. Like 6:30, dude. Like, I'm there with the gym.
Still fast asleep. Okay, and are you one of those intermittent fasting people as well? Like I do that, but is that one of you? Do you follow that as well?
I do intermittently fast, right? So like I will just be very intuitive about it. So I'm not really strict.
You're a flexi.
I'm proper.
Yeah.
I'm really flexible, man. Like I will skip breakfast maybe a couple of times a week, like at the weekends. Okay. So if I'm not on a heavy training day, then I'll probably skip and I'll just have 2 meals. Like actually on Sunday, I had breakfast brunch with my parents, and then we had like a late afternoon lunch with some friends of ours that are in town, and then I didn't eat dinner, and I just had like some evening tea, and that was it. So I had 2 meals that day.
Food's quite flexy as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your structure in terms of keeping fit? Like there's a lot, like whenever I speak to people that are in great shape, they do have some form of structure in that they're going to do strength training a few days. They'll do some HIIT workouts. They'll do walking. They'll do yoga, Pilates. Like you must have a rough structure for the week. How does yours look?
Yeah. So I do have a rough structure. It's not regimented. And the reason why it's not regimented is because my sleep can be up and down. And so this is where the Oura Ring actually is quite useful for me, because it will dictate the quality of my sleep and therefore the intensity of my workout. So if I slept really well, it's leg day, baby. It's going to be heavy muscle day. It's going to be really like going balls to the wall with like a good sort of variety of leg strength training. It's not just like squatting the whole time, but it's going to be like quite intense legs and big muscles. The other thing that I would do if I've slept very well is cardio, like intense cardio. So I will do a good sort of bike ride for like 30 minutes. Thing is, dude, I'm a bit weird. Weird in this sense, because some people need to go to a spin class. Some people need to go to a spin class to get like pepped up by the instructor, and they're like shouting, they're like, you can do it, and they're spinning the towel and then they're getting up on the thing and they're down on the thing. I find that the most annoying thing that anyone can do is shout at me during a workout. That's why I don't do Barry's, I don't do F45, I don't do none of the spin stuff. It is, I just want to get my music on. I just want to like ride out to it. Like I'll get progressive house going, I'll get like some dirty like rap beats, I'll get like whatever like gets me in the mood. I'm in the zone, and I'm just like riding away. So I think getting myself in the zone, particularly after I've slept very well, that's awesome. And then row machine, and then obviously
so no podcasts
and all that kind of stuff.
No, not podcasts. You're listening to upbeat music. No,
I will vary it. So sometimes I won't listen to anything. Sometimes I listen to pods, and sometimes I listen to music as well. The most important thing is, because this sounds very unachievable with people. Most people can't barely get themselves out of bed, right? And it comes back to the consistency thing. You need to commit to a minimum level, a stupidly minimum level of exercise that you can promise yourself that you'll do every single day. For me, it's my 5 minutes of stretching, right? Every single day, I have to do 5 minutes of stretching. It's the minimum amount of work that I know I can do. I do it straight after my meditation. Part of it is stick, because I've got a long-standing back problem. It doesn't give me that much jip during the day because I've done a lot of physio and I do my stretching every single day. But also it makes me feel that I've moved my body today. And if you can identify with that person, that you are someone who moves themselves every single day, I'm telling you, it's game-changing, and it will lead to all these other things that, you know, get you to do HIIT without having an instructor and all that kind of stuff.
No, I love that. So on my side, and I'm nowhere your level, but I do my yoga every day for 25, 30 minutes. That's minimum, right? So it's not a workout, but it gets me moving. And what I've invested in, I've gone like, you know, I can go buy loads of equipment, but honestly, all I've got is some simple dumbbells, 12.5 kgs. I just stick it next to my yoga mat. And if I'm not going to the gym, I will literally squat those babies, or I'll be, you know, doing some presses. I'll even sit in my bed and do some chest presses. I'll do something with them, and I'll figure out 3 different exercises, do like 3 sets, and it's like a 10-15 minute workout before I jump in the shower. So that was a great hack for me, but it's not taking me to that advanced level, as in, you know, that great shape, because I feel like but it kept me going. So that's why I feel that definitely helped me keep a good level. But, you know, obviously what we're going to talk about in a bit more. It's just I want to go a bit more into like the reps and the exercises, because the compound exercises. Because I started yoga like 4 or 5 years ago, right? And I love yoga. And I'd probably say in the last 2 years, yoga became really big. Same with Pilates, got even bigger. But now I'm seeing a big shift back into weight training. Even guys and women, they're all like going proper on the weight training, because you're realizing it is still relaxing. You're realizing your body's getting more movement. You're becoming more relaxed. So what's your view on what's your current stance on weight training? Are you pushing really heavy weights? Are you just going for more reps? Like what stage are you at right now with that?
So I would say it's a good question. I would agree that trend is definitely moving toward weight training and something called zone 2 training, which is sort of like it's not where you're sprinting or like massively out of breath. It's almost like a consistent hard push for a long period of time. So it's like where you're like going 60 minutes on the bike, and you can't have a conversation, but you can almost like grunt and be like yes, yes, no, yes, just like one word answers basically on the bike. Strength training is super important, particularly as we age, because the degradation of bone and muscle is pretty apparent, and actually that's one of the reasons why we see higher inflammation levels, is because you have a process called sarcopenia, and it's basically where your muscles
do you have to lift a certain amount of weight,
replacing it with fat.
So to avoid that, do you have to lift a certain amount of weight, or
yeah. So body weight is almost like the minimum, and they're above that.
That's a lot.
Yeah. As in, like, a squat. When I say body weight, I'm like you're doing a low
it's
squat.
a normal squat. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought you got to lift like 70, 80 kg, like based on.
No. I mean, when you're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're doing that, if you can do like 1.5 times your body weight, you're doing very well. If you can do 1 times your body weight, that's a good standard. Yeah. I used to be someone who could do that, not easily, but definitely something that I would aspire to. But now, because I've had long-standing back problems, I know that my form isn't 100%, so I won't go heavy. I'll just be much more consistent. And there are ways in which you can stress your body in a good way without necessarily having to like pile on loads of plates onto your barbell. And doing like more movement, mobility, and sort of conditioning exercises is where my focus is. So if I do a squat, let's say I'll do like a 40 or 50K squat, which is like just above like half my body weight. Actually, it is half my body weight. I will hold that low squat for like a good 2 seconds before pushing out of that squat, over 2 seconds as well. So everything that I do is a lot more controlled. It's slower. It's less explosive. And some people might see it as boring. But man, you feel it. You feel it a lot. I would do more reps, yeah. So 100%. I would do like 12. So
you're doing more
14,
reps, though. You're doing more reps.
Someone going heavy might do like 2, 3, 4, something like that. Because I'm not really looking to like bulk or add more muscle per se. I'm looking more to sort of like condition and maintain. So I'm in a different phase, and I don't think bulking on muscle is necessarily healthy or desirable unless you're really doing it for aesthetics. I really don't see the benefits of that.
For me, I enjoy actually just pushing like the strength training, like pushing sometimes a bit more weight, because I started off probably doing what you're doing and I'm going up now, because I don't know, it's that thrill of just pushing more. I've also just got a PT in, so personal trainer. It's very privileged, very lucky, but I was worried about the form. I found someone who's reasonable. Like you can get good PTs for like 40, 60 pounds. Like yes, you can go to these high end ones that like charge a lot. But you can, I think, if you look well, you can find a really good PT trainer. Even for like some guys got one for like £30, so you can get good ones. And yeah, it's more around the form, because with weight training in particular, it is all about your posture, your frame. And it's so much, there's a lot of complexity. Like if you want to squat really well, if you want to deadlift really well, barbell like rows, like these are quite technical exercises. I've been doing them naturally, and I've had my friends train me sometimes. But when you have an expert, like there's so much angles and switches and changing.
If you can afford a PT, 100% go for it, man. That's what I would say. I've had PTs throughout my sort of like I don't gym career. I don't know what the fuck you call it, but like you know, like
gym life.
My gym life.
Yeah.
My gym.
Yeah.
Actually, when I met Amit, when we're working at Basildon Hospital together, we've got a mutual friend. He was much more a gym guy. I never used to really go to the gym. I was more like cardio and like just doing press ups and abs and all that kind of stuff. I was never really like a proper gym goer. I'd like maybe go like, you know, once every 2 weeks, something like that. But yeah, no, I quickly got into it. And if you can get a PT to give you the basics, that's great. If you need a PT to motivate you, that's another thing. That's when it gets expensive. But I think like, you know, a few sessions with a PT to like teach you, you know, what to do, then like, you know, maintain that sort of consistency. And also you have to be like, and it's not very fashionable to talk about this these days in the current environment where everyone is sort of like being very respectful of people who have issues with self-worth and beating themselves down a bit too much. But you do need to be rigid with yourself. You do need to be harsh on yourself. And actually you need to lean into what motivates you. And if it is, you know, a bit of like, come on, slap yourself around the face and let's get to it. If that gets the job done in the long run, that's going to be better for you. And as long as that doesn't spiral into like, you know, this practice of shame and, you know, feeling that you have to go to the gym like twice a day and like eat a piece of broccoli to look well, like that's when it gets problematic. But I think most people can understand when it's an issue and when it's actually motivating, hopefully anyway. The other thing I would say, so in addition to consistency, right, is cook. So I would say if you're cooking yourself,
here we go.
No, I'm not trying to plug my book, but it is out on the 19th of January.
But it's fair. No, you're
100%
right.
Amazon.
You're 100%
but
right. You're 100% right.
But if you cook from scratch,
and here's the code.
Yes, if you cook from scratch, and you know what's going into your food, like 100%, you're gonna see the benefits of that. If you quit snacking as well. Like we ain't designed to, we're not meant to be snacking, especially we're not meant to be snacking on the things that are typically what you find in a snacking environment, like a coffee store or, you know from the certain hours of the supermarket when you're checking out and stuff. Don't touch that stuff. Like you just keep it out of your basket. You'll save money and you'll save time in the gym or in the park or wherever you're doing your exercise. So cooking from scratch, I think is a great way of maintaining that. The other thing is quitting alcohol. I know you don't really drink that much, I would say.
Yeah, I don't drink that much. Yeah.
Yeah, you said that with a smile, so I don't know.
No, I don't know. I've cut down to 3. So whenever I go out, I think I've explained this on the pod. I don't think I have actually, but I've worked out myself, and this helps so many other people with drinking. Is like how often do you drink, right? Maybe once a week, twice a week, right? I try to not drink so often. But let's say I do. I've worked out that if I drink 1 drink, I'm fine. No hangover, I'm fine. If I drink 2, I'm starting to feel a little bit, but I'm still all good. When I drink 3, now I'm on a bit of a buzz, or I can feel it, and I think most people can. And you're normally in a good buzz at this point, and there's no hangover. But once you get to 4, I've realized, okay, now you're feeling it more, and now the hangover clock is starting the next day. So what I've learned is when it gets to 3, like 3 wine glasses or 3 drinks, 3 units or however you want to look at it, right? At that moment, I just stop after that one. That's my max. So I normally end between 2 and 3. Obviously, occasionally, if it's a big day, I might go further. But if you're going further, like I call it like the unknown. So once you go past 3 onwards,
you're going to the unknown.
Drinking 4 to like 10, you're still in trouble, right? Now, I don't advise anyone to go too far, but it's just natural. So I just make a decision, like, am I gonna, you're either gonna blow yourself up or stay below 3, and I normally stay below 3. I've given this hack to a lot of people, and they've really appreciated it. So hopefully it might help someone out there. But and I agree. If you can cut alcohol, it's good.
I'm pretty regimented. So I will have like 1 to 2 generally when I go out. But also I like cocktail bars, because of this whole mindful drinking movement, are really producing good, low and no alcohol beverages, right? And they're constructed like you would a great cocktail that you'd find in a decent cocktail bar. And it gives you that sort of like, it doesn't give you any bars or anything, but it gives you like, oh, I'm out. It comes in a little like gimlet glass, and you're drinking with your mates, and it still gives you that sort of like feeling that you're celebrating, and whatever else that a cocktail, or the other reasons why we drink cocktails and stuff. But if I was going to drink a beverage out, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't too hungover the next day, I would make sure, and this isn't any advice for binging, just want to point that out there as a doctor, but people always ask, tequila lime soda.
Really?
A very good quality, not a shitty tequila, but a good quality tequila lime soda is good. A gin lime soda as well, anything clear, because you don't have that double
gin and tonic,
hit
you
of
mean,
like,
right? Gin and tonic.
No,
Gin
not tonic. No, because you're getting a double. Think about the way alcohol is metabolized, right? It mainlines to your liver. When your liver enzymes are saturated, the alcohol dehydrogenase, that's when you're going to get these excessive alcoholic metabolites, and that's what basically generates your hangover, plus the dehydration, etc., etc. When you're also hitting it with like really hot sugary drinks, like the worst combination would be, I don't know, a whiskey Coke or rum Coke, for example. You're given like a big dose of alcoholic spirit plus the big dose of sugar as well. Like your liver's just trying to survive here, and you're giving all these different. So those are things that you want to make sure you're avoiding. And if you're going to have a drink, I actually introduced tequila lime soda to a buddy of mine this weekend. He really appreciated it.
I'm not big into tequila, but I like gin. So you're saying go for gin, soda, lime?
Yeah, I would say gin, soda, lime.
I'm not a big drinker anymore, but I like gin.
Yeah.
So I like flavored gin.
Claw,
I do
though.
the flavored
Everyone
gins.
likes White Claw.
Oh yeah. Everyone likes seltzer, but no, I like the flavored gins. So
yeah.
Okay, so we talked about booze somehow. I don't know how that got slotted in. Actually, no, I know I got slotted in, but we slide that in. So we got that in. So one thing you do, right, is that is it the sugar tracker. So I actually have, this is one of my challenges. I've got a sweet tooth. I know if I didn't have a sweet tooth, honestly, I think I'd be ripped. I'll be so ripped. But I've got a really devilish sweet tooth. It's really dangerous. You've seen it. I've taken you out to some ridiculous
If only I quit like all that fast food, I'd be telling that I'd be ripped. I would be ripped.
Too much Taco Bell. Yeah, all right. So let's talk about because you did the injection. The thing you track your sugar thing. So does that work? Yeah. So is that good? Really should I get something like that?
Just a bit of background. They're called CGMs, or continuous glucose monitors. The whole bunch of companies out there doing them. The reason why they become popular is because there is some suggestion that maintaining a good level of sugar in your bloodstream, a consistent level, and instead of having high spikes and lows that you would get from eating processed food or high sugary foods, for example, might be a good idea to prevent things like type 2 diabetes or excessive hunger pangs that can lead to overeating, for example, right? Freestyle Libre is one of the most popular ones. Dexcom, I think, is better. The reason why is because you can calibrate a Dexcom. I think these products are going to become ubiquitous in healthcare generally, because they give you insights into what I think is a behavior change process. So I'll give you my example. It might make it easier for the listener. I didn't think me having a Spanish croqueta in a restaurant was going to spike my glucose level that much. I just thought it's mainly fat. It's got some jamon in there, a little bit of fried stuff on the outside, fried breadcrumbs. Probably not going to spike. Dude, it literally sent my sugar like a roller coaster. I did not expect that whatsoever. And this isn't to say that I'm never going to have a croqueta again, but I'm much more aware of what that specific food or specific restaurant who's serving this food has done to my blood sugar, and therefore I'm going to mitigate it. There's a few things you can do to mitigate it. You can have more vegetables at the start of your meal before you have the croqueta. You could go for a walk straight after your meal, so you're actually going to be encouraging the sugar in your bloodstream to go into your muscles, where it can be converted into glycogen. There are a few other things that you can do to mitigate the sugar going into your bloodstream. So I think this as a behavior tool is going to be really, really interesting. And that's why you see so many companies in this space, like Levels, I think it's called Very, Zoe here in the UK, like a whole bunch of companies that are moving to this space.
Yeah, no, I find this stuff really interesting because you're right. There's unique things that I might be doing in my week that are just really bad for me, and I know deep down, like, having a spoon of Nutella or having some Kinder Bar, like, I know it's not good, but I need to see the spike.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll just go to the kitchen, grab yourself some Nutella. You don't think about it. You probably forgot about it, right? But your CGM will tell you. Your CGM will tell you, like, yo, you had that snack.
Let's put it in the mirror up. Let's put it in the mirror up. All right. So in summary, this is what I've taken away. So I think I probably have to look at this tracking for sugar levels. I think that's interesting. I like that you're not doing too heavy weights because you can get injured, and I can see lots of people being scared of doing weight training because of the heavy weights, and it's
I've got injured loads of times.
Yeah,
loads of times,
and they're dangerous, man. They're horrible.
Yeah, and obviously with a pre-existing back problem, I'm much more sort of cognizant of like what it's like to be sort of not disabled, but it pisses me off when I'm injured and I can't do my normal activity. I can't like even do my stretches. I can't go to the gym. It kind of just messes up my routine. So I know now to like moderate it, and there's no point like lifting heavy. I mean, I'm married now, man. Like, come on.
Mate, come on, don't give me that. Don't give me that bullshit. You can still do it. So it sounds like you're just consistent. You're doing good level of strength training. You're doing the cardio. You're eating somewhat clean because you're obviously cooking it, right? So you're going to probably be better at most people in that area. But I think your mindset's really good in that, just getting consistency in and just pushing something. I think, a great tip is like getting a bunch of light weights and, whatever weights are good, and just putting it near your bedroom. That's really helped me, and I think to get that consistency, because I'm lucky in that I have a gym very near me in my building. I'm super privileged and lucky, but some people, that commute's pretty annoying. I used to hate going to the gym. So if you just have a bunch of weights around you, it's helpful. And I think you got to just set that expectation. Like, okay, if you're scoring 6 out of 10 or 6.5 out of 10, are you happy with it this year or in 2023 as you go in, or do you want to up it and score 8 or 9 out of 10?
I just want to add one like exercise hack that I think is really important, because I've tried loads of stuff, right? Like yoga, Pilates, reformer Pilates, calisthenics, all that kind of stuff. One of the hardest things that I think I do now, like at least twice a week, is TRX training. So TRX has been around for ages. It was, created by the ex-Navy SEAL, just like a couple of straps you put on the back of a door. And now it's like this incredible brand and stuff. And like, it does seem a little bit cliche to like, oh yeah, do my TRX and stuff. But I went and did a TRX class with some like proper TRX trainers. Yeah. And dude, I felt it everywhere the next day, literally everywhere.
Really?
And
I've got the wires, but I'm not feeling it as much.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm going to show you some exercises. So there's this one exercise. You put the straps right down, like so they're almost touching the floor, both the little straps, yeah. And then you get into like a plank position. So you put your feet through them. You're in a plank position, and then you basically do a pike. So you literally like go from this position and you pike upwards like that, and that works everything, your abs, your oblique, all the muscles that you don't tend to use, because if you're just squatting or you're just doing your arms and all that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, you got to just try and do as much conditioning exercises as possible, and that requires body weight, and things like TRX I think are really, really good for that.
Last thing, actually, remember we went to I'm actually speaking to my friend, so I'll give her a name drop. It's the Blushing Doc. She's on Instagram, and I'm doing a consultation tomorrow about skincare. So, we went skincare shopping. Yeah, because I thought, I think it's time to... I feel I've got a decent routine, but I want to, again, score like 9 out of 10 on it. So I'm going to the expert in the field. I think it's important to look after yourself. I feel like I've done good in 2022. Oh, what the hell are we? 2022. I've got year already. I'm so bad with years. I think I've scored like 7 out of 10 on a lot of things, but I want to get to 9. So... I'm going to get her thoughts and ideas. But yeah, what's your latest skincare? Mate, because I remember we went skincare shopping.
We did, okay. Yeah. So I've learnt this through my wife and through chatting to a number of like dermatologists as well.
And all your exes, right? Like basically any girlfriend you have, they're like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm like, okay, I'll take that one. I'll take this one.
I've just taken up like gems along the way. Anyway, there's 3 things, right? Actually, no, there's 4 things. I'm going to add a boring one. Sleep. You gotta invest in your sleep, man. I'm telling you that sleep is probably one of the best things you can do for your skin. Did you see that Reddit recently with a couple who were trying 10 different sleep hacks?
No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, they tracked whether it had a positive or negative effect by percentages, and the percentages were married basically to their sleep score. Almost complete opposite results.
Wow.
So one of them was Sleep Stories by Calm. Like one of them was like improved it by like 12%. Another one was like reduced it by 3%. My takeaway from that was everyone is individual. So what might work for me or what might not work for me, like magnesium citrate, might be like a game changer for you. So who do I know? Like what do I know to suggest anything? I know what works for me. Not eating too late. So 2 to 3 hours before bed, I need to try and keep that window clean and not having too much sugar in the evening. And not stimulating myself too much in terms of like TV or like phones, to put my phone away. Try to like, separate myself from the workings of the day or the worries of tomorrow, whatever. I can basically, I'm going to tell you now what she's going to tell you tomorrow, right? So it's going to be sleep. If she's a lifestyle medic, it'll be sleep. It'll be SPF. So she'll recommend 30 as a minimum, 50 as optimum. I'll give a shout out for a brand I think is bloody good. It's Supergoop. You can find it in the UK now. It's really thin. She's going to say vitamin C. So vitamin C as a serum, you put it on either during the day or in the evening. And then it will be alternate day retinol. You usually get it in different forms like 0.5 or 1%. You probably need to start at a lower amount. So that's the one that we got from The Ordinary, because The Ordinary is like this brand that basically they had the same sort of quality of ingredients as your sort of branded names, but like at like factory prices. So the one in Shoreditch that we went to, it's brilliant. It's literally like, £5-6 for a product that will last you 3 months. You put a tiny bit on your skin. The next day, you're going to make sure that you wear sunscreen or wear a hat as well, because it can be quite irritant. So those are the things she's going to say. She's going to say sleep, SPF, vitamin C, and retinol.
Well, luckily she's already made her money, so I'm very glad for the consultation. Otherwise, I'd have gone, hey, can I have that back? No, I think, let's see. I will report back. I'll report back, and let's see how it is. If she nails it, which I'm sure she will, we'll get her on the pod and say, look, you got to show us your tips. So she works with this company called Get Harley, who do these personalized skincare treatments. There's so many companies out there do these personalized treatments.
Do you know there's another one called I think it's called Skin Me, and they basically they've got like again personalized like skin coaches and stuff, and they send you products and that kind of stuff. It's kind of like what I want to plug my app into, because we already have skincare as a health goal, and I think one of the things that always gets left behind is you could think of the things that you put onto your skin, right? So things that, it's like going to the gym. It's like, we do things to our body, do things on the exterior, but no one really thinks about the interior as much when it comes to health goals. So skin health and foods and, all the evidence that we have for a colorful rainbow diet with plenty of fiber and the skin axis, the gut skin axis, super important, man. So
no, totally agree.
You can have that.
Let's see. We will. Yeah, no, I like that one. Thanks. And I'll keep. Let's see. Well, obviously you'll see the progress. I feel like I'm getting bigger, but I need to up it. Let's see. On that note, Amit, have you got anything? Any good takeaways?
He's going to come up with a long list of supplements.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Take this level of drugs, this
testosterone,
one, some gummy bears.
Wait, I don't know where these are going to start some rumors. No. So one thing you talked about consistency. So you could do things on autopilot, and then you mentioned rough but not regimented. So when that really hit home for me is like we went out one night and we got smashed, and I assumed you were gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna run it off this morning, but you were just like, yeah, I'm going to take it easy on myself. I'm just going to stretch out. I was like, what? Like, so there's like context to all of these things that like really knowing your body. So yeah, when you've hit it hard, you can take it easy the next day.
Definitely. Very important.
And then the last thing was these things are so personalized. So initially we were talking about, well, the concept in many people's heads is you have to lift heavy, but you know, you can still get ripped by doing things differently and finding out what works for you. So one thing which you didn't mention, which I've noticed when we work out, is you're like very mindful, like when you exercise. So that there's that Arnold Schwarzenegger thing where he talks about like imagine contracting the bicep. Like a lot of it is done mentally.
Yeah.
And I think you do something similar there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good point. Form. I'm just obsessed with form now. Like I see, it's really annoying actually when you, not to shit on PTs here, but like when you see a PT with a client and their client is like on one of those machines.
Lateral row?
Yeah, that's it. Lateral row. Yeah. So they're literally just like going back and forwards like this. And the PT is just standing there like having a little chat with them or whatever. It's like, dude, this guy's form is, he's going to give himself an injury. He should be really slow, really contracted, held, and then released. And if you want to do more reps, fine, but you've got to keep your form there. And yeah, I just think people need to obsess about form because that's going to get you. It's like we were talking about leverage in another podcast. You have to leverage the exercise that you choose. And one way of getting leverage out of the time that you spend in the gym is actually putting the time and effort into the activity, into the actual form of the exercise that you're doing. So just focus on that.
So I'm going to double click on that because people have heard the word form like a million times. Yeah, concentrate on form. And I could tell Jay's like, oh yeah, form. But like he literally is like thinking through the motions as he's doing it in the gym. So
it's true. My PT does tell me that. He's like when I'm doing some exercises, like he'll say like, you know, focus on your arms, focus on your chest, focus on your abs. Like, yeah, that bit's really important because there is some science to it. Like wherever you focus your mind to, for some reason, the contraction does work. I remember this weird experiment. I think I might have told you guys, but there's this experiment where they got 20 people that broke their thumbs, and basically they put into two groups of 10, and they go to one group. They say to one group, hey, your thumb's broken, it's all good, just chill. Whereas they went to the other 10, they went, hey, imagine like you can move your thumb, even though it's broken, but imagine you can move your thumb. After 2 weeks, they took off the plasters or the bandages, and turns out the ones that visualized it improving, they healed like 25-30% faster. So there is some science to the madness. But anyway, so yeah, I think, you know, hopefully that ties in what you're saying.
Yeah. We should get Joe Dispenza on the show, man. You'd love it. Yeah, it'll be good. Let's see if we can get him. I'm sure we will. We got you, Rupy, so we use that PayPal. Just could dangle me out like a carrot.
Exactly.
Come on, Joe.
So exactly.
We'll
check you in. All right, great episode, guys. I appreciate your tips, Rupy. Thanks for sharing. Selfishly, I think I took a lot away, and I'm gonna up my game for 2023, and hope people listening are as well.